What's up, dude? I'm sure by this point you've seen some super viral cooking videos here on YouTube. They're always just a pair of hands with peaceful music and super clickbaity titles. And you know what? As someone who's been a professional chef for the last 20 years, I've had my serious doubts about some of these recipes. So I started this series called We'll See About That to find out if any of these recipes are really worth the hype. Now let's go!
Tiffin Box.
Today's recipe is coming from the channel Tiffin Box, and we're making their most popular video. It's titled Homemade Chicken Nuggets, recipe by Tiffin Box, how to make chicken nuggets for your kid's lunchbox. If you're a parent and you're watching, have you ever made chicken nuggets for your kid's lunchbox? Has anyone ever made chicken nuggets for their kid's lunchbox?
That's a good snack. A nice room temperature nugget that's been in your lunchbox for 6 hours. Oh,
generally, you don't want to ship fried food, right?
My mom used to just pour soup in a paper bag and send me on my way.
Never made it to school with that paper bag of soup.
Yeah, because I'd eat it on the bus. Yeah, it's a kid's recipe. It's got 31 million views.
As far as nuggets go, that looks good.
Looks like a nugget.
How does it taste? I would never be able to work on a cutting board like this, and it's not stuck down either.
Get a smaller cutting board.
Forget that. That's for serving cheese, that cutting board is. I thought that was like a pressure cooker for half a second, blending. Uncooked breadcrumbs, are we gonna be using those? Ginger garlic paste. Taking a little bit of a turn with the ginger garlic paste.
Flavorful nuggies.
Most kids aren't really into that, I don't think, but I like that, that's cool. And then soy sauce coming in next. Pepper powder, which is
pepper.
Salt, paprika, okay. Your standard sort of spice mix there. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, it looks like a nice paste of chicken, essentially, at this point. It's nice to know that you can do that without having to use a meat grinder. You can just use
It's not too much smooth.
Food processor. It's not gonna be the same as using a meat grinder, but it will work. Oiling it up, just kneading it.
I like that it does that.
Knead until smooth?
Knead until smooth.
That's so funny. Man, I don't know if she's gonna freeze them, but if I were to make these, I would definitely recommend freezing that. It's gonna be so much easier to work with when you go to bread them, which I'm assuming is what they're gonna do next. Salt, egg, white pepper, milk. Those breadcrumbs look so cheesy, don't they? They look like they've been dyed, like they have some color in them.
I
thought she was putting them in a lunchbox now.
Can be stored in the freezer until 2 months. That's pretty sweet. You make a ton of these.
Yeah, I'm glad they're gonna be fried. Square, I thought they were rounder in the thumbnail. Okay, little shallow fry.
I like it. Simple.
Yeah, I can't see how these are gonna be bad at all. I mean, the seasonings are nice. Let's have a look inside. Yeah. Okay, so is it worth 31 million views? We will see about that. Let's go make it. Now, before we recreate these nuggets, let me talk to you about my sort of toxic relationship with coffee. The thing is, I really do enjoy a cup of it, and I enjoy the 45 minutes after. What I don't enjoy is this terrible, terrible crash that leads to anxiety and heart palpitations and everything else. Recently, I've been switching out my morning cup of coffee for a nice big mug of Mudwater, who is the sponsor of today's video. Mudwater is a Healthy Habits brand best known for its popular coffee alternative. Mudwater's original blend has 4 functional mushrooms and only a fraction of the caffeine found in a cup of coffee. So you'll get that natural, clean energy without all the jitters and the crash you get from coffee. As far as the taste goes, it's sort of like chai and cocoa had a baby. I personally really love it. And even better than that is the way I feel after drinking my morning Mudwater. It contains just the right amount of caffeine to get me going, but then it also has the cordyceps, the chaga, the reishi, all those beautiful medicinal mushrooms to support my focus and immune system. I make mine by taking some near boiling water and a little bit of manuka honey, and then using this incredibly powerful frother that they'll send you to blend it all up. Then all I need to do is add some ice and a splash of oat milk, and there you go. That is my perfect drink. Oh yeah, and of course it's 100% USDA certified organic, gluten-free, vegan, and non-GMO. Mudwater is hooking up my show with a special offer, so if you go to mudwater.com/ThatDudeCanCook, you can get a free frother and 15% off. That's MUDWTR.com/ThatDudeCanCook for a free frother and 15% off. Now let's get back to the recipe. And we're gonna start by blending up our bread, which is just standard white bread with the crusts removed. Now let's give it a few quick pulses. It's always good to pulse when you're blending things in a food processor. Sometimes you get an uneven mix. There we go. Chicken breast is going in next. I just cubed it up a little bit. Ginger garlic paste, soy sauce. Happy about these ingredients. White pepper, which I was just talking to Marcus about. I feel like people don't really use white pepper very much, but I really love it. You're definitely gonna see it more in Eastern recipes. Touch of paprika going in, and then just a little bit of salt. We'll give this a little mix, just like this, so everything is evenly distributed. And then we'll blend again, this time into a paste. Sometimes when you're blending meat in a food processor, it tends to bunch up. And so what I want to do is just open this up and give it a little mix around again, and then return to blending. And there we have it, just about 45 seconds of blending, and it's nice and pasty. Now I'm gonna dump out my meatball. It's not a meatball, but you know what I mean, onto some parchment paper. And Marcus and I have just been remarking, like, this smells just unusually delicious. I don't know why, it just smells so appetizing. I lived in Holland for a while and they had a dish called pâté américain, which was raw ground beef mixed with spices. You just spread it on bread or crackers and eat it, and it kind of smelled like this, although I wouldn't try it with chicken. Here we go with the oil on our hands, just like so, and I'm gonna go ahead and work it. Oh, I should have oiled the bottom first, see all that? All right, put a little now. Work this together a little bit, just like so. I don't think you need to do anything too extreme. And we'll flatten it out. Hopefully these are gonna be really good because this is very easy, you know? You gotta give it up for recipes that are easy to make. And considering their channel is about feeding kids, having recipes that are quick, easy, and delicious is super important because as we all know, kids are monsters and they need to eat every 10 minutes. And now, I mean, she trimmed the edges, but I've got a pretty straight edge right there, so I'll leave that one. I'll trim just a little right here. That's kind of a lot. I would say I could just get 2 nuggies like that. Now I'll go directly in half, halves in half. When you're doing these kind of slices, you always want to start with the middle slice and then divide those 2 halves in half again. If you start from one side, you always end up uneven. You got to do it like Japanese chefs do sushi. Half, halves in half, halves in half. On this side, I think I'll do, let's see, I'll do 4 like this. I'll just go like so. Same exact method here. Ours might be a touch bigger than hers, but hey, we're adults. And for the next step, she moved these all to a new board, but I don't see the point of dirtying another board. They seem to come unstuck pretty easily. So I'm just gonna leave them here and then go bread them up. Now let's get the breading stuff ready, starting with eggs. I'm gonna do all my, I might need 2 eggs actually. Little pinch of salt, some more white pepper. And she did 1 tablespoon of milk, but I'm doing 2 because I have 2 eggs. Now let's just whisk this up. Whenever I'm whisking in these vessels, I always try to tilt it to one side. Just makes it way easier. And I have panko breadcrumbs on hand, so that's what I'm using. I don't have these orange ones, but we'll just do this. So I froze these for just about 10 minutes. Should make them a little bit easier to work with. Longer would have been better. I just wanted to keep the production of this video going. So here we go. They're actually coming out really nice. Again, you don't have to freeze them at all, but it will make them a lot easier to work with. Don't want to do too many at a time. Here we go, flip them over in the egg. People say when you bread, you should do 1 wet hand, 1 dry hand. To me, that's just really annoying to use 1 hand. So what I do is I just wash my hands in between breadings. The best way you can do it is if you do it with a buddy. One person does the wet, the other does the dry. That's awesome. And I always like to just throw some breadcrumbs on top. So usually I would pack breadcrumbs in, but I would smash these down, so I can't do that. And give it a little tap to get off the excess, and there's our little nugget done. And we'll repeat this process with all of our nuggets. If you want to do a bunch and freeze them, you can, but first let us tell you if it's good or not. I was surprised there was no use of flour before going into the egg, because that's kind of standard breading procedure, although it will work without. And on another note, I definitely didn't need 2 eggs. I could have got away with 1 egg, so she was right. I've got my frying oil at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're gonna go ahead and drop our nuggies. I'm only gonna do about 8 at a time. Of course, you can shallow fry them like they did, but it's fine to deep fry them too. They were basically deep fried anyway. One thing they didn't mention on their channel was any time about how long to cook these nuggets. I would recommend probably 4 to 5 minutes, but I'll let you know as soon as they come out. That's been exactly 5 minutes. They're definitely done. I'm gonna go ahead and get them out and put them on a resting tray here to relax a little bit. Whoa! Hit one of these, hit one of these, hit one of these, dude. 90s kids, what's up?
Hi ho, Silver!
Oh, before we taste these, let's look at a couple comments. Great recipe, Tiffin Box. The best part about making your own nuggets or any food for that matter is the fact that we get to control what goes into it. No worries about any mystery ingredients or nasty fillers. Very true. We don't know what's in McDonald's nuggets, but it can't be good, dude.
Poison. Even if you went to the grocery store though, those nuggets, it's like a Harry Potter book on the back.
That's right. Today I've tried this recipe and can't believe nuggets were so perfect. That's a lot of O's.
As a nugget myself, I agree. This is how we're made.
Nice. Even the nuggets themselves agree. All right, Marcus, let's give this thing a shot, right? Here we go, buddy.
Hell yeah. It's a nugget.
Okay. So, here are my thoughts. The textures, the crunch, all of that is fine. What I'm struggling with a little bit here is the flavors inside. You got that ginger garlic paste and the soy and the white pepper. I don't know what kids are really craving those specific ingredients. I can imagine if you made that filling and you just went like the standard route of, you know, garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of paprika, salt and pepper, even A little bit of chicken bouillon inside the filling would be amazing, like either the powdered or the, you know, the pasty one. Another thing you could do for the filling is go a French route, so you could use some egg whites and a little bit of cream to bring that fat into this much needed lean chicken breast.
The ginger's real. I would go no ginger.
The ginger is overpowering.
Make it easy, even easier. Don't cut up garlic, just garlic powder. I'll dip it in an Asian sauce if I want ginger. I actually was excited about the ginger, but now I'm like, it's like a ginger flavored nugget.
I mean, don't get us wrong, they're not bad, especially because they're for kids. Those flavors are just not quite right. A tablespoon and a half of ginger is a lot.
I mean, you'd have to call them ginger nuggets.
I also don't like raw garlic mixed into, you know, any kind of meat and then cooked, like meatballs, for example. It becomes pungent and overpowering. Garlic powder, different story. Based on all that, you know, I would definitely probably make nuggets again, although I would definitely experiment with those flavors to make them more standard American. I would score it with these flavors like, it's not bad, it's not great, like a 7.3, 7.4, something like that.
I was thinking 7-1. They're good, but you did a little too much.
Thanks for hanging out with us today, my friend. If you want some great written recipes, I have an ebook called Master in the Making. That's you're the master in the making, and that will be linked down in the description. And if you want to keep this series going, here's a playlist of all the ones we've done so far. And if you make these nuggets and you're looking for something really good to dip them in, this Chipotle barbecue sauce recipe is one of my favorite things on earth. Until next time, you know I love you